Thank you, Claire. I literally just talked and talked and talked and I was muted. Big brain. I reset everything and I just was talking about the fact that so my Portal was in the UI was in German and I couldn't change it. Like everything didn't work until I changed my whole Steam language. Like the whole everything. My Steam is now running in English, which like yes, I know could have done that before. Who cares really?
Still weird.
It is still very fucking weird. It's that, yeah. Is it working now? Why should I change it? I mean, yeah, probably everyone's now like, oh no, why didn't you do that? Who cares? Hey, OBS, there we go. Now it's working. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I never really had the need to do that. I mean, I put my Switch into English because, you know, I had the same problem. I hate that. Ironically, when you go to, how's it called? When you look at consoles, like during the PS4 era, you could just manually change everything in the menus. Now, a lot of game series that did that before and are now like, you can change the language being spoken, but your UI, no. Now that is tied to your system language. Why? What is the fucking benefit of that? Like, not even. Here's the thing. I get when the game is looking like, oh, this is the system language. Maybe we should make the first just put it onto that when people come in, but then they can change it. No, it just forces you to do system language. And I'm generally so close to just literally also just put my PS5 on English because I just don't want to anymore. It just sucks. I kind of hate that. Also, look at this, by the way. We made a really nice cursed PS5. Looks great.
PS5?
MP5.
You said PS5.
And our PS5 is still running on system language German.
But you said you made a cursed PS5.
I made a cursed PS5. No, I want to say I made a cursed MP5. Look at its cursedness. It's very cursed. But yeah, I guess I got someone to start Portal now, so who knows? Portal too soon. Next week. But yeah, actually I have now a mission to play the Vector. The one gun Agonia actually likes playing. You know, the funniest part is about the Vector, it's one of those guns that was never really adopted in real life. Because turns out it's just very complex and has other problems. Like, the MP7 has technically... Okay, the MP7 is a weird one, but yeah. It's like, the Vector is just like... It never got really adopted because it just has a lot of, unique problems. And how it works, and just is a bit prone to failure, actually. A little bit prone to failure, actually. So, let's do it like this. Perfect. Save under custom 2. This is our start. This is how we do it. And then let's just... Honestly, this is probably one of the nicest features of this game. That you can just import builds. This is how it's going to look later. Where we have everything unlocked. This is like... This is... You may not look like what you're seeing, but this is what peak performance looks like. But yeah. Let me just check. I don't have anything else here. No, not really. Okay. because I think I have some stuff to do. But yeah, I just kind of hate the fact that this is now forced onto people. No, personal shit. Oh yeah, you know what, if you want we can do that later, if you're interested. Kinda have to. They're running out in 7 days, so... let's just talk a bit, but... Yeah, Portal is great. I really looking, like... Yeah, I really feel I should probably do Half-Life 2 at some point this year. It's not even the game I'm mainly looking forward to, as you can probably imagine. I'm looking forward to the next Battlefield, basically. That's gonna hopefully test soon. Who knows? And we're still getting teased to Hell and Back, which is basically dividing, the people still in a kind of a community around that game. There's just a giant ass rift because people are like, no, nothing is teased. We will get nothing. The game is dead. They are not actively working on stuff. And then people are like, then why do they keep saying shit is coming and tease that one island? So yeah, maybe in a few weeks we will talk. We will stream Iwo Jima. Who knows? Where do we go? There we go. But yeah, my stream is now running in English because, that fixed the UI for Portal. It's weird, really. The game Valve basically almost went bankrupt over. Had this whole legal fight with Vivendi. And just a whole lot of other crap. Is quite mid in the end. I mean, on a technical level, fucking Marvel. It's a fucking Marvel, let me just say that. I'm not gonna shit on Half-Life 2 for, not being insanely impressive back in the day. I mean, also, fun fact. If you're playing Half-Life 2 nowadays, you're not playing Half-Life 2. Okay, you're playing Half-Life 2, but they fixed so many bugs. They enhanced the, facial animations. They enhanced the textures. Basically, with Episode 1, you got better lighting effects, dynamic shadows and such. That was not in Half-Life 2 at launch. Now it is in Half-Life 2. There we go. So, yeah, there's so much that was added to Half-Life 2 over the years. And the reality is, I'm not a boomer shooter fan for that long that I have an original copy of Half-Life 2 lying around. I got that stuff digitally. Even back then, because why not? Why wouldn't you get it digitally? It wasn't actually my reason to install Steam. That was, interestingly, how's it called? That was Total War Empire. The Empire Total War. But back then you still said it the other way around. Nowadays, they are so afraid of losing the brand value that, you have to say Total War Warhammer. And they couldn't even bother to name it Total Warhammer. Fucking cowards. But back then it was Empire Total War, and I don't know. I don't know if it was, I mean, again, in the end, everyone had Steam after that. Oh, nowadays everyone has Steam. But it's weird that Empire Total War is just not even remotely my most played game anymore. Not even remotely. Oh well. This year really is the game. Is a lot of catching up still. I mean, Wednesday is gonna be, how's it called?
Smoke barrage ready.
Wednesday is gonna be more Grandia too. That's gonna be fun. I mean, I was also thinking maybe we could do stuff like, you know, right now, because Portal is over. I mean, I'm doing Shooting Bang Bang, but like, I was like, hey, could we do maybe Helldivers too? But like, I know just one person that might just join for that, but I don't think, you know, that would be right now the best. And I think showing off Age of Wonders 4 with all the new stuff, nah, that probably more people would tune out to that, even though I could show off Big Dragon. You can build Big Dragon now. Or, you know, you have your own Big Dragon Lord. Dragons are really good, you know that?
Defend this sector, whatever it takes.
So yeah. Anyway, you get up. Have anything fun to talk about now is basically the best time to just throw it in.
Enemy troops are attacking objective Bravo 1. We've lost control of the objective.
Yeah.
Form new defensive
It's still
lines
kind of wild to think about how many games over, you know, the last decades definitely, you know, it's not copying, but we're like, how about we, you know, take Half-Life and then just kind of make it better, or at least certain parts better. I think the hardest part for me is saying, is any one of them actually better than Half-Life overall? Because I think, ironically, Half-Life 2, is that not really. Because they usually have other problems, you know, which came from stuff like, you know, running out of money, having tighter restrictions, trying to do other design elements that didn't mesh that well. But ironically, the elements that, you know, that they directly kind of lifted from Half-Life and such, those they usually do better. A lot better, actually. I mean, nowadays I think a bunch of people know about Singularity, because, well, you know, it's the last real Raven game, and it was good. It was pretty good, actually. Like, ironically, I think I like Singularity, like, I think this is probably the interesting part about Half-Life 2. I really hate the idea of replaying Half-Life 2. I actually kind of like the idea of replaying Singularity. That game wasn't that bad, actually. Just Half-Life 2 stretches itself so much at times that it just gets so annoying. It just gets so annoying. It's I feel like everyone who's still talking positively about the gameplay of Half-Life 2 hasn't played it in over a decade, and they just have like an image of it in their head that isn't actually up to anything. Or, you know, they haven't played any other game in the meantime. That could also be the case. Like, I mean, then again, I think not many people have played stuff like Resistance 3 anyways.
Objective Bravo 2.
But yeah, if you're shocked to hear that name, yeah, sorry, Resistance 3 is kind of, you know, Insomniac Games' take on Half-Life 2. It's really good though, like, you know, when people talk about, you know, oh hey, they should bring the Resistance or Killzone games to PC, I agree. They would probably do pretty well here, pretty well overall actually. But personally, the main thing why I would love to have it on PC is literally how Resistance 3, because that one is so good. Like, for example, first of all, it has 4-player co-op. You can just play the campaign in co-op. It's just a thing, which is generally just a, you know, that's just a good feature to have in the game. I mean, I know not every game wants to, or is like, I generally like games having a co-op, you know, option. There's a reason why I say Resident Evil 2 Remake, they should have patched in a co-op mode. Especially when they maybe, you know, updated or re-released it. They should have done that, and now people are like probably, wait, why Resident Evil 2 Remake? Listen, you already have 2 playable characters. You probably need to, you know, adjust a few things, but like, the general route wouldn't change a lot. And you can definitely merge both stories into one. It's doable. And it would probably make the most coherent version of Resident Evil 2 overall. Just saying, oh, who was, you know, who did what is canon. Just, you know, solved by both were there. And you wouldn't take away, you still would have the whole, you know, single player experiences, but you can just also play it in co-op. And I can almost guarantee you, a lot of people would really like playing that game in co-op, because co-op just, you know, makes things less scary. You know what also would be very interesting with that? You could actually make bait tactics. Like, I mean, Mr. X would, you know, join, I would say halfway through the game, similar to basically if you play the A route. But one of the big problems that, you know, Mr. X does is that he just kind of blocks the way. Like, Mr. X is not really well done in terms of his, you know, I really use him as the prime example of a bad modern stalker, because he really is just like, he's, oh wow, he stands in your way again. Whoops. And there's this one part, I don't know where what the name was again, like very much at the end of the game, you know, it's just, you basically get back in the corner and you just have to wait in the safe room because he doesn't enter the safe room, and it's like, why? What was the point in that? But with co-op, oh, you could have the very fun part that one person, you know, maybe lights a flare and just runs the other way and, like, you know, takes them on a wild goose chase, and then you can, and then the other person has the, you know, the key items and just solve the puzzle. Like, I don't know. Sounds like a good thing. There you go. Oh, come on. But yeah, Resistance 3, really good game in that regard. Also, insanely fun weapons. Shouldn't be that surprising considering it's an Insomniac game, but still. Why is there an AA gun here?
We need to keep defending the sector. Objective Charlie 2, lost. Take it back.
Okay, okay, okay. I don't think this was intended, but get here. Honestly, in this game, I don't know.
Take it back now.
They only said they, you know. Hahaha. Didn't even die from that. Wait. That was a useless anti-air. Honestly, with this game, I don't know. It has some, like, I think the funniest part is that this is like, it really feels like the game just keeps on ripping and like.
Secure our last sector.
Okay, so basically they said, I'm thinking of the 570 Ti when they come out. I get you actually, like, genuinely, I was also thinking about maybe getting a 570, but, money,
Allied forces are attacking objective
because
Charlie
like,
2.
you know, if I have a if I get a 570, I could actually, you know, give the my 470 to, you know, Agonia, but she, you know, still would need a better CPU and shit. But like, honestly, 380, that definitely is a good upgrade. Yeah, I get that. But here we still have to see if I can, you know, how we do with the whole CPU upgrades and shit. Then again, I don't know if path tracing is like actually worth it that much. Well,
Enemy in objective Charlie 2 has
yeah, that is usually the thing you need. And at this point, I'm like, 5600 is good. Like, I mean, I almost would ask you, hey, would you like to, if you would like to get rid of that and such, it would not be the worst CPU to have as an upgrade because, you know, Agonia only has a 2700, so 5600 would be a good upgrade for her. But then again, shipping and shit, so bleh. Don't think that will be the most sensible thing. There we go.
cleared objective Charlie 1. Stay sharp.
Yeah, if anything, it's gonna be that. If we, but again, money. We're still basically saving up for a new TV because ours is just, it's still breaking down. I don't know when we will do it because, but yeah, it's always money. Also, I'm still saving up on the side because, you know, the whole Switch successor thing is still going on. Which, oh yeah, fun fact what happened there. So basically, at CBS, you know, that one manufacturer was like, oh yeah, this is how it looks like. And now Nintendo actually was like, no, it doesn't. And you just sit there being like, so this was pointless. Because Nintendo saying basically, no, it doesn't look like that means we could be going back to the folding screen design. Yeah. Basically, News Thing says they might reveal it in March and release in April, which would be nuts. But I mean, I don't know. You know, here's the thing, Claire. At this point, I just need a date. Because the thing is, if it turns out that, you know, the Switch 2 is basically is better than the Switch 1, you know, and it has full backwards compatibility, it probably has some games I will play on, you know, mainly, I would also stream on, probably mainly, you know, Metroid Prime 4, and maybe Metroid Prime 2 Remastered, and maybe some other games. I might just get it on launch simply because, you know, the one console in my streaming setup right now is the Switch, and upgrading that is probably gonna be very, very useful.
Strategic beacon deployed.
You know what? It wouldn't fucking surprise me. Because, here's the thing. Either it is what, you know, that one rumor said, and the Switch is, you know, the Switch 2 is actually a thing you dock onto the old Switch, or it's an upgrade. And then it doesn't even surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if they just call it something like, you know, the Switch Color. Keep in mind, the Game Boy Color is something that everyone, you know, nowadays agrees on is its own handheld. Period. Because the Game Boy Color is not a Game Boy with, you know, color functions. It's its own different thing. Nintendo keeps lumping the two together. And they probably did that back in the day to pad the stats. And here's the reality. They're probably gonna release the Switch 2 this year. The Switch 2 is right now, I don't think it's the most successful handheld, but it's like one hell of a successful handheld. And considering people nowadays refuse to call the Switch what it is, a handheld you can dock, and keep calling it a console, which it isn't, it's a handheld, it's not a console, by literal fucking design, they will just probably call it something like the Game Boy Color and just lump it together to be like, look, we actually beat, you know, the PS2, and it's like, no you fucking didn't, you literal liars. Yeah, the games will probably be more important. Like, and then you will see me stream the Castlevania Dominus collection from it. Which should probably, you know what, actually I can look up if it arrives soonish or later. Let me just, you know what, let me just look.
Copy. Vehicle dropped to target location. Objective Charlie 1. Keep suppressing. Copy. Vehicle dropped to target location.
Shipping February 1, so in February!
Attacking to secure our victory.
Yeah. So, I don't know, if we're through with Portal in February, and I have it, I guess Survival Horror Sunday with Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. I know some of you are very excited for that one. And I haven't played it, so... I've got the best Castlevania protagonists because she's cool and hot. Honestly, it's everyone's like, why should you play it? It's the protagonist. No one talks about the gameplay, so I'm expecting it's gonna be solid, but like, everyone is always talking about the protagonist, never about, oh yeah, this had this intriguing gameplay. Nope, it's the protagonist. She's hot. So, you know, did people you know, did you know that people keep telling me she's hot? Because I feel like she's hot. Oh boy howdy, would be one hell of a thing if they made a spiritual successor based on her design and it kinda sucked ass. But some people refuse to play other games, so... than that, so it just keeps being a thing for some reason. There we go. A bit more objective score, and we have that. Sounds perfect. Miriam Bloodstained is just we have Shanoa Castlevania at home. You know what? Here's the thing. I have to say one thing. John Halo is fun. You know, it's a funny thing to say. Because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of weirdos who take their male video game protagonist very, very seriously, and I don't think most of them deserve some kind of, how's it called, I don't think most of them deserve to be treated seriously. I think some do, and it's always when people disagree with me on that, as I play the game, and then they come back and they're like, ah, yeah, shit, right. No one would know who Miriam is. I know. Okay, you know what? You know what the plot of Bloodstained is? Her childhood friend, and they were growing up in a group of alchemists to seal the gates of hell, I think, or something. Basically revived evil, became evil, raised the castle. It is so obviously trying to be... Like, here's the funny part. Bloodstained reads so much in terms of plot as a third Sorrow game. But, with switched roles. As in, Miriam was basically somehow preserved, probably due to alchemy and shit. And then, Soma Cruz actually goes evil in the third game, which, let's just be real here, there's an easy thing. Someone just killed his fucking girlfriend, and Soma just goes, nope, I'm gonna be Lord of Evil because that's that, which would be very just very in line with Dracula, actually. And, then she has to stop him. So that's what I think it was. Yeah, Bloodstained's story is shit. Yeah, it kind of is, because they... Oh, you fucker. Right, that was that. It's still so weird. But yeah. So maybe in February when we're done with Portal, we can get to that. Oh yeah, I want to say about the whole this game keeps stealing, because I think in a week or so there's gonna be the second season, the first season coming. So it's like, oh hey, 2 maps from the Chinese version that is all out already. New specialists and shit. And they're now giving us the dolphin dive. So I'm like, interestingly, they're really copying old Call of Duty games in terms of movement, and you know what? I'm kind of fine with that. Like, oh hey, you want to expand the movement of all characters and you give us the dolphin dive? I'm fine with that. That's fine. I should probably... but yeah, also they're implementing the fortification system of Battlefield 5, and it just looks the same. It's like the same fucking hammer animation with the same fucking sandbag formation. It's just, wow, that is just stolen directly. It is insane. But anyway, I don't know. Here's the thing. Let's just see how that turns out. I mean, I keep saying. So, okay, you know what? I have this thing, that a lot of people nowadays always, you know, highlight the old guard as something special in video games. And I feel like, not really. Like, no, it doesn't mean that, you know, older, you know, experienced designers didn't do some very impressive games back in the day. Or, you know, did some games that are, you know, some of my favorites. But also, I think it is fair to say that a bunch of them just don't really seem to have... It's just Bloodstained sucked. I mean, this is probably the thing that surprised me the most, because, like, you should expect that Bloodstained should be better, but no, it's just... For all they promised, it came out, and I think the only reason why it was, you know, actually accepted better is because people were very much high on Konami hating, okay? That's one thing. But also, I can guarantee you two facts. People have, knew about Symphony of the Night, but have not played Symphony of the Night. And people have heard about Dawn of Sorrow, but never played Dawn of Sorrow. That's the thing. They never played those games. And so, I guess we were stuck with a game that was just really weirdly mediocre. And I think the third thing that made, gave everyone a way better grace of Bloodstained is Bloodstained came out and it wasn't Mighty Number 9.
We cannot lose this critical objective.
Because let's be real here. That game really Mighty Number 9 lowered the bar. Okay? I know there's always like the whole thing with raising the bar, that people are like, oh, you know, we expect this and this in a game. But also, sometimes there are games, you know, with a lot of, with a lot of anticipation that come out and are just bad. And they lower the bar. Because this kept happening. This kept happening every time. Again, it needs to be a big title. A lot of people want to be good. But it isn't. That everything in that it drags down the bar so much that everything afterwards inevitably is seen as better. Mighty Number 9 was like, oh, so that's the Mega Man revival thing. That's not good. This is bad, actually. And like, you know what the irony was? Mighty Number 9 was just kind of mediocre. The worst part it had, actually, was just the fact that it also was ugly on top. And you know, then a few years later we got a Mega Man 11, which was just better. Period. It was just better. I mean, when I put out Super Blind Games so people got excited over New Vegas' successor. And you know what the irony about this is? Yeah, like the thing is, the writing was missing because all the writers wrote Horizon. Which is why I tell everyone, you want New Vegas writing? Play Horizon Zero Dawn, sorry. That's where they went. That's what these people did. That's where you find the writing. You know what the funniest part about that is? They praise it because it's not Bethesda, but then I look at the gameplay, I saw the gameplay, and it looked worse than Fallout. Like, actively worse. And this doesn't, this is not on the part of, just, the presentation, that their VETS variant is just weird. Like, what happened there? And, like, 4 has problems, okay? Fallout 4 has genuine problems, even in terms of gameplay. But, like, that game was ambitious for good reason. And it also got a lot of stuff right in terms of how you interact with the world. The Outer World seemed to be none of that. It seemed to be, aimed at looking like that, but not being that. And I think that's always a very, very, very important distinction, because Fallout 4 is fine in a lot of ways, actually. It's not the best, like, yeah, you know, the big problem Fallout 4 has, and that is just the reality here. It kind of needed its New Vegas. It needed a title that simply had better writing, kind of a better world design, and expanded it on its RPG system. But here's the other part. Gameplay-wise, Fallout 4 was still very ambitious in what it wanted to do in the world. And it achieved a lot of that. Like, Fallout 4 was, again, it was ambitious, it just needed more work. And then people come and are like, oh, but Bethesda writing is just not that deep. It's sometimes funny. Like, yes, you know, the American robots that, you know, who you, if you try to argue with him rationally, will interpret it as communist in some form. But if you say to him, fuck you, he's like, that's American. It's like, is that deep? No. Is it wrong though? And, you know, is it really that wrong of an expression? And kind of a good chuckle, considering especially our, because the rating was top tier. It's not saying much, but they did try. I think Bethesda had some higher highs in Fallout 3 and Skyrim, but like, I think the problem is more like, how Bethesda approaches stuff, you know? And this is just simply something they do, you know. A lot of times Bethesda just has a fun note, a good, you know, just a very fun idea. It's just, you know, a one-off funny sequence they could just put. Okay. What I'm going to say is probably going to be very controversial, but hear me out. Bethesda's writing a lot of times amounts to the same thing as Family Guy funny moments. It's Bethesda funny moments. You go through their game, and you have a funny moment. They've been doing that since the beginning. It's less, you know, in Daggerfall, because Daggerfall just... It simply just generates a lot. But, like... Everyone looks at the, you know, for example, the guy falling from the sky in Morrowind, and it's like, oh, this is genius. It's also just a Bethesda funny moment. It's just like, that happened. And, you know, then it's a very funny joke in of itself that teaches you that you should read what the item says. But also what you could do, what you can do with that. So it's a good funny moment. But yeah, they tried. It's not that good, but like, hot take, the writing in New Vegas was also not that good. Like, the biggest problem New Vegas has is that it tries to really fucking... It's a very liberal take on everything. A liberal take that thinks it's smart. You know? It's always like, it's shades of grey and shit. You know? Maybe there's more, like, and the thing is, one side is slaving fascists. And like, I get and the best part they do with that is the fact that, you know, if you actually walk up to the leader and talk to him, he's like, and was democracy really that much better in terms of how you describe it? And that's it, that's everything they do. The problem is, it never actually goes into, you know, this is probably the biggest fault New Vegas has, because it never actually sits down and talks about the fact that there are good solutions. Fallout New Vegas is inherently neoliberal pessimism. And this, doesn't surprise me, considering the chef of Obsidian Entertainment apparently is so utterly stupid that he doesn't even realize that, the second game that, the Fallout 2 they were, and Fallout 2 was full of capitalism critique, and was just like, no, this was about human nature. Hello? Please stop working in the game industry, because you're clearly just a very self-absorbed idiot. Like, seriously, how can you look at Fallout 2 and be like, no, this was about human nature, because I was there. You were too stupid to realize what your writers put into the game. Seriously. And this is the biggest flaw of New Vegas. It is inherently pessimistic, and it doesn't want to engage with the fact that there are good options, actually. It never, it never actually offers you another. And there was apparently one planned where, the protagonists could, take over more and stuff and, do more on their own. And it was cut down. Development times, cost, etc. I get that. But, like, this doesn't matter that, you have, again, this whole conflict where one side is, the NCR, which is, let's just be real here, they're not good. But also, their counterpart, again, Roman Legion cosplaying slavers. You literally, you're comparing America to quite literally the Nazis. Do we really want to roll up the whole history of how we decided in a whole fucking war that maybe America was not that bad at that point in time because they fought against them? Do we really want to roll up that history again at the end before we can maybe talk about the honest part that New Vegas isn't smart for saying it's just shades of grey, no one is really good, and maybe can admit that no, the NCR is factually better than Caesar's Legion. Like, what the fuck? And also, let me just be clear. I know this probably will ruffle some feathers, because I know some people who are not even that, because we have the same thing in case of Kurt, whose deaths have a bit more spine, in my opinion. Why can you ally with Caesar's Legion? Yeah, I know, it's the whole, yeah, we want to, leave player's choice. You can play good and you can play evil, and the answer is, why? I mean, I think you need to actually sit down as a developer and ask yourself, why is playing as the fascists an option? Why couldn't you sit down and be like, maybe this shit here is so just so wrong that just, why can you ally with them? Why is that seen as like just a credible way of doing? And then a lot of people are like, why are the fascists in our fandom? I don't know. You know what? The fascists are really fucking pissed that Caves of Skut tells them to fuck off. They have a whole fucking axe to grind, because here's the thing. They always hide behind player expressions, but a lot of, fascists literally just want to play as fascists in their video games so they can feel affirmed. That is a fact, and New Vegas allows that. And it's not smarter for doing it. It's just enabling fascists playing fascists. Yeah, it's just on NCR vs. Southwest Independent. It's like... And like, that's the thing. You could have had so much more about, unifying the Mojave Desert. And, like, why is it NCR versus House versus everyone? Why couldn't it be that you actually make, like, a League of the Mojave? Why isn't there a democratic option? Why isn't it that you can actually, unite the clans at the various factions? Why isn't there an option that you can actually make just be like, we can do better, actually? It should be hard, That's the thing. If anything, House and the NCR should be, options where you're like, it's not the worst ending, but, you could feel it could be better, That's the part that should be the case. There should be a better ending, but the best ending shouldn't be just a click of a button. It should be a fucking long quest line you work towards. That you actually get people to, maybe have a whole quest line of, to set up voting. or you discuss how would representation even. Independent is, I guess, kind of trying to be that, but also, let's just be real here, it isn't. Because it's never fleshed out. Because the game just assumes that the three major ideologies in Mojave Desert are just House, NCR, and Independent. And it's so, House, NCR, and Caesar's Legion. And it's so funny that people then went bonkers over the ending of, the Fallout show. To be like, oh, why is there no power in New Vegas? Why does it look desolated? Listen, if all the options are shit, what did you think happened to the Mojave Desert? Everything probably fell apart. And that's the thing, the game doesn't commit to that's the problem with New Vegas. It doesn't commit to any kind of clear message because it is too afraid to not allow the players to play fascists. So you just kind of muddle the waters. And that's the thing. When everyone points out the fact that, oh, you can walk up to Caesar and he's like, whoop, have you thought about that? Which is like, yes, it is kind of a neat thing that, the leader of the, fascists isn't just, a brute that just spews hatred. He's not smart, and he's not right. Because the thing is, yeah, liberal democracies have failed a lot. We've seen them currently fail. We see that they are not good.
There's nowhere to retreat to.
But that's not a fucking argument for authoritarianism, Anyway, I ranted enough about Fallout New Vegas now. Thing is, yeah, they needed to have a game that was basically their version of Fallout New Vegas. And ironically, I think Fallout 76 was probably supposed to be that at one point. Like, 76 really felt so undercooked, but clearly there was like stuff that was supposed to fill it out. And I think 76 probably was a, maybe single player / co-op title at some point. And then it got morphed into an online title. Without the world being finished and everything. So who knows? But yeah, that's that. I think a lot of people really don't give... That's the thing why I say Fallout 4 has one thing above New Vegas, and that's the fact that the Minutemen are there. The Minutemen are just good people. Ever thought about that? Ever thought that there is just a whole faction in Fallout 4 that basically spits into the face of everything Fallout New Vegas says, because in a positive way, because they're just like, fuck you. There is a good option. There's just, maybe we should just all work together and then move forward slowly, one step at a time. Maybe having safe settlements is the first step to that. And ain't that right? But ironically, then it falters again, because ironically, to have any kind of conflict, Fallout 4 also is like, no, actually the main factions are Institute, Railway, and, the Brotherhood of Steel is like, oh, so, extremely stupid, evil, and evil. It's kind of wild that there isn't really a Minuteman option. God, I ranted enough about Fallout again. But yeah, people have not played, Castlevania, so when, when Bloodstain came out, a lot of people were just like, yeah, that, it's not a complete disaster, so maybe this one is good, and, then when, people said it's not, they were angry, because how can you criticize a game people enjoyed? And the answer is, go and play more games. Like, seriously, go play more games.
Artillery barrage ready.
Secure our last sector, whatever it takes.
Hey.
line of defense. Hold it at all costs.
Yeah. Yeah, Bloodstain is just, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just so mediocre. And on the also on the tech level, it kind of sucks. Like,
Stand your ground. Defend at all costs.
because they switched to a 3D engine and then, I guess, couldn't optimize the game in any way. It turns out that you just move so utterly fucking slowly through that castle. Like, Bloodstained is so slow. How do people think it's fun? Oh well. Oh well. Oh yeah, in a few days I think, you know, probably will stream some Data Force again when the next season's out. Because yeah, 2 maps, that's neat. Oh yeah, the new specialist sounds absolutely... It's probably gonna be bad, because like, okay, not bad, but it sounds horrible, because... Imagine this. You have a character with a shield, okay? So, not the big shields like, you know, Overwatch or stuff, but like, just the standard ballistic shield.
Critical. Stand your
Probably be like, oh, okay, yeah, fine, it's a shield. Also, imagine if that character now had a grapple hook. Yeah, do you feel it already? By the way, if you're thinking, oh, it's just a grapple hook, you know, you have more mobility, what's the problem? No. This is a grapple hook that lets you pull enemies towards you. Feeling it now? Yeah, that's...
enemy forces are down.
That sounds like a whole thing, actually.
Will be ours. Enemy is very weak. Launch an assault now. Secure our last sector, whatever it takes. Roger that. Artillery barrage inbound.
There we go. Ah! There we go. Oh yeah, also these turrets with like the big visor and shit, those are just straight ripped from Modern Warfare. It's funny. There's so much ripped in this game, it's kind of amazing. Like,
Artillery barrage ready.
and still this is probably the first game I would say, oh yeah, you know what? The others are less fun. This just rips everything and it's like, yeah, this is fine. Oh well. This year's gonna be interesting anyway.
Secure our last
Like, we also will probably see if Payday 3 will if it will bite the dust, or if they actually will make a comeback. I doubt it's gonna be a comeback because, you know, that game has been kinda dead for a whole year. Like, sorry, 1,000 people playing is not really a player base. I'm sorry. Not for the type of game they are advertising. So yeah.
Vehicle dropped to target location.
Artillery barrage ready.
The final line of defense. Hold it at all costs.
I mean, also a very fun part was how they apparently said the game is unfocused and you know,
Roger that.
in its fantasy. And like, the game has no fantasy. Like, Payday 3 is such a, just, I don't know how to say it. It's kind of an amazing shit show. Like, I actually talked with Agunia about Payday 3 yesterday a bit, and I think the wildest part to me is that the game doesn't know what it wants to be.
Enemy is faltering.
It scales back things from the previous title for no reason, and then it's like Pikachu face, why do people don't like our game? You know, for even missing out like very, very basic concepts, like, you know, what could they do to do that? And then they like, oh, here's some very basic concepts you could have done, and it's kind of amazing that they just didn't do that, even though a lot of them were already in Payday 2, and then they just stopped supporting them. Like, for example, and Payday 2 actually has like quite the extensive gun modification system with a lot of stats that you can adjust. Payday 3 has none of that. It's just, yeah, there are 4 slots and you linearly unlock things for those slots.
Strategic beacon ready to deploy.
I don't get why. It really makes no sense. It's just stupid. I mean, also the fact that they just had less weapons to begin with was also kind of stupid. And now they're having the same problems with launch weapons as Payday 2, as in the ammo pickup rate is just worse than the, you know, later DLC weapons, which is like, still, why haven't you fixed that still? Why are you still doing that shit? Why are there, you know, again, why are there simply less, options? Why is all of that? Why is Payday 3? I should ask. Why is it? And I don't get it. It's just so utterly fucking basic. I'm talking about Payday 3 again. Look at that. Dual drum magazines. It's stupid, it's too much, I love it. Oh, that one also looks nice and cursed. Probably going with that though, yeah. Maybe maybe as a -1 meter range. Actually, let me. I get why you picked that one because you can slap more onto it, but okay. How about time? Time. Damn it. As I would have said, maybe one more round, but you know what? Let's just pull those. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm talking about here, this is kind of, they just kind of have a gacha system in this game, but you only get tickets with, you know, you can't buy them. So, and they reset, you know, at the end of each season, so, you know, they want you to spend them. Yeah, I have so many. Let's just do that. Oh. Yeah, you know what, let's put it on. What do we have here? Yeah, just a lot of stuff. Ooh, neat. By the way, as you can see, they don't give you doubles, so that's at least something, I'd say. Neat. Honestly, for a free-to-play game, this is kind of generous. I'm not even complaining. This is just like, oh yeah, you could just get free shit. And there we go. More stuff out of the pool. Look at that, we almost have everything here, so... Nothing this time, obviously. Oh. Ooh. Hey! We can make our gun pink. That's actually the best thing when a game is like, you know what? This is a serious game, you can make your gun pink. Fun fact, they actually tested that. This is not a joke. Because they were like, so, okay, remember everyone how, how's it called? How in Warhammer 40k, the stealth units of orcs are pink. Because have you ever seen a pink orc? The thing is, they kind of tested camouflages on weapons, and it turns out, if you make a gun pink, it kind of blends in more because, you know, literally if you just, you know, if someone scans in an environment, the brain isn't picking up that, you know, pink equals gun. It's like, it's a pink thing, you know, that's usually not a gun, so they just skip over that. Which kind of is still camouflage, you know? Oh. We have the Mountain Dew skin. Got a bunch of stuff out of that, actually. Damn it. Neat. So yeah, now it looks very spanking and nice. And you actually can be pink. Let's make it pink. Perfect. And you? Oh, well. Yeah, she wants me to use this one. Yeah. Oh, that's neat. I guess I don't have shit here. No. Yeah, shockingly generous, this game. Like, that's a lot of stuff just for free in a free-to-play game. I'm still, by the way, I'm still looking for the catch in this game. I'm still looking what the catch is. I still don't know. That's the weird thing, you know? I still don't know what the catch is.
When life gives you...
There we go. Ah. I hope you kind of like this. Probably gonna be, I don't know if I'm gonna play soonish a bit more. Probably on my own. I technically still have to do... We'll see how this will turn out. Anyway, this was Portal and some, you know, Delta forcing at the end. Hope you had fun. Hope you had fun talking. Yeah, we will probably be back. We will be back on Wednesday with more Grandia 2. And hopefully more Millennia, because she's just kind of the best about that game. And yeah. Hope you still have, you all have a good week ahead of you. Hope nothing will get you down too much. And yeah, see you all soon. Have a wonderful sleep. Stay healthy. And good night. Bye.